Anyway, so wonderful. According to Buddhism, every day when we wake up, we're able to move. So I'm very lucky to be able to move. If we're able to get up and walk around, or I'm able to walk, I'm able to do another beautiful day to, spend with my family or my friends, my co-workers. Therefore, according to Buddhism, or just reality, we don't really feel what we have. Therefore, we're looking for something not belong with us, physically, mentally, anything, right? Something belong with us, right? To us, we don't really recognize. We don't really aware that. Therefore, this is one of the problem. Just we say, oh, I'm very beautiful. I got this very good Zen. Then I said, oh, very warm, soft. Oh, and there was, he had very nice one. Oh, I love that one. For sure. My was good. And oh, very beautiful mother. Oh, she was very beautiful. I want that. No, I'm very beautiful. She said, I'm aware that. And your house, your job, your position, whatever you have, you are aware that is very important for all of us. Because it feels us to Lord, as our what we're looking for. Therefore, it's important. Then we go to the meditation, okay? I always say, whatever we recite this morning, we recite especially refuge bodhicitta. Then we pray for Bodhisattva Mani. When we also Kurukulla Center, then Heart Sutra. Also, you guys also large people that memorize the Heart Sutra. It's wonderful. It's not enough we memorize. We need to understand the meaning and put into our daily practice. Maybe you have a lot of people on here not much idea how to cook. Yes, you're looking for cookbook or go to YouTube how to cook. Even you have book, you have all the things you need to cook on the table, but you don't action, then you don't get the delicious food. I think it's pretty similar. Our practice also, we all we have pretty good education or understand for the Dharma, right? But it really doesn't, go into our mind. It shows we don't really put practice. Practice means to do a little bit more, meditation, try to concentration, try to put into actions. Okay? Therefore, firstly, just sit all of you as comfortable as much as you can. Then fourth is the breathing meditation, because this is the technically Buddhism, non-Buddhism, religion, non-religion, everyone can use, because this is the one technique to keep our mind just nature. Okay? When you breathe in, out, it's also aware, not just something your mind go to beyond. Just focus. Okay, now I'm breathing in. When you breathe in, try to all the oxygens we need, bring in to all your body, fill for all the channels. When you bring out, also complete empty your stomach or whatever, all the channels. Bring out all the bad qualities or sickness, anything in your body. So bring out. Just keep that like a couple times, okay? Now, the visualization in the front of you is basically we have all the Buddha's images in the front of us. It's also it's possible. It's not just thinking for the like some solid, some statues here. It's a real Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Avalokiteshvara, and Buddha Maitreya, and Manjushri, Grindhara, and Tsongkhapa, and Guru Rinpoche, and Atisha. So for all the holy beings from the Vedas. The around Vedas also, all the Mother Sentient beings, same as us, they all wish to free from all the problems. Sometimes people say sufferingness, or I'm healthy, I don't have any suffering. I'm sure everyone has their lots of problems. Therefore, all the Mother Sentient beings, if we know, we don't know, doesn't matter. Just everyone around with us. And they all also same as us, to looking for happy life, healthy life, a successful life. Then we are going to meditation, 4 measurables. The first, in order to that, we need all Mother Sentient beings. Or you have not idea what sentient beings mean, maybe all human beings, as same as me, to looking for free from all the problems and cause of the problems. Try to keep mind on that thought at the little moment. This is what we call the meditation, compassion. Then again, they change the thought. All Mother Sentient beings with us, around with us, they all have happiness and a cause of happiness. Okay, this is the first two, compassion and loving kindness, meditation. When we do meditation, if we get some feeling, it's new for our goosebumps, then it is really working. Then just peace rock, nothing to feel. It doesn't work much. Okay? Okay, 다음 주 때. 뭐니 다음 주? 거기도 와. Can you say something? No, you know already.
Good.
Okay. 대신 주대요.
예, 됐어요.
Okay, 다지나 안에 가서 남의 추기 로종 전에 니바 톰발라 아니 시바더니 뭐 저가 하고하더니 뭐 대대에서 곰잡네 수수 냠내는 일이 봐 자토가이나 아니 좀 니바 때에 통을.
So, by practicing Buddhism, in order to get the result, it's just not good enough to know or to listen to the teachings or to know about it, but more important, to put into practice. So, if we put into practice on a daily basis, then eventually we'll get the results.
그래서 칼라한테 카나열 두지. 소주는 맞아 미저나 칼로 쳐야 거 말아. 카나야 무주 뭐보다 소주는 신이 칼로 쳐야 거.
It's like when you eat the food. If you just swallow it, you will not get the taste. But if you keep on chewing and chewing and chewing slowly, then you get the taste. It's just like that.
We love a lot of spicy chili.
The people who eat very spicy food don't get the real taste of the food. Because you can only taste the spiciness of the chili, and you don't get to taste the real flavor of the food. And it's just like if you have a strong faith in Buddhism and just keep on reciting the prayers without understanding the meaning, of course there's a benefit, but you don't get the real meaning, of the Dharma. And that's why His Holiness always emphasizes on being a Buddhist of 21st century. And there is importance or meaning for that. So when we say be a Buddhist, of the 21st century, it doesn't mean that you can do whatever you want to do. It's not like that. So you should not misunderstand in that way.
세리던 탐바 대상 세리도 연지 쉬고 쳐봐서 세리세디 그런 게 미긴 토야 안 좋아냐요 맞다 굴다 캐는 저거 말와 오다 데려오는 거 진짜 주로종 제네 냠내 지는 지 좋아냐요 말 무슨 니바 토야 사제가 라브레서 치고 많이 봐나 개가 라브서 주고 말 수수지 오 단디 뭐는 독삼지 레버가 라이고 그래서
So what he meant by that, is to accord, with the the modern day science. Because the science don't just believe in something because somebody said like that, but they really look at the reasons, the logics behind that, and something that they can prove, right? Then they will believe. So it has to be like that. So it not be just like, oh, because Buddha said it, or because my teacher said it, or my parents and grandparents said that, so I believe in that. Not just like that, but by really understanding, by studying it, by understanding the meaning of it, then you do the practice, then that becomes the Buddhism of the 21st century.
Okay, 제 상가 아니 너만 내도 저는 너만 내가 약말 나게 말든 너만 내도 주부를 말했어. 차차에 주부를 말했어. 아니 저 주부를 말했어. 샘랑기 손로 당고 대달로 손당고 그래서
So just reciting is not good enough. I'm not saying it's not bad, and not good. Of course, it's good. It's good to do the recitation, but also it's not just good enough to do just the recitation of the prayers or mantras, or not good to do just the circumambulation or just the prostrations. So you should do that all, but you have to do that by understanding the meaning and with the from the heart. So you have to do that, and that then it becomes more powerful.
어제 대도 전에 남배 주된 오늘 로조 야부 제 삼로 야부 단다 오늘 딱 예리게 소화당 파제래요 오늘 드럽당 톰바 그냥 쇼로군 고유도 톰바지가 도시해요.
So if you really study Buddhism well and understand the meaning of it, then it will accord with the day-to-day life activity. It will accord with the environment and with the things that we do on our daily basis.
그래서나 맞은 남이 주나 가르래 쇼진의 렌제에서 딱영 니마고 어디다 주크잖아. 진짜에서 계셔. 저단 주.
So in Buddhism we talk about karma. So we say, oh, this is my karma, this is your karma, like that. But people sometimes misunderstand about that. So what karma means is the action, right? The cause, that we have created, right? So if we, say maybe cause and effect, then that makes more easier or more sense, for people to understand. So without a cause and condition, can there be a result or effect? If it is if it is a result or effect, then it is necessary to have the cause to produce that result, right? So this is how things are in the world. So that's how it happens, right? So in order to have the effect, you have to have the cause. So when there's an effect, that means there's a cause. So that's how things are in the world, right? So whether you believe Dharma or not. So for example, like we want to have good health and good look, right? And and a high level of education, right? So in order to have that, you have to create a cause, right? Without creating a cause, you will not be able to have good health, good look, high education, or good wealth, just by saying, oh, may I have a good wealth, or may I have a good health, may I have a good look, like that. Just by thinking like that, will you have it without creating a cause for it?
When a low professors or engineers, which was bigger? Engineering or professor?
Engineering or professor?
Yeah, which one more high?
Depends if they're full tenure professor.
In order to come there, you do a lot of researches, a lot of work, spend a lot of money, spend a lot of time, years, right? And that. Today, the Tang to Nambi Chuni, to Dodong Rochina, the Nambi Chulia, Ganjul, Deb Jada J, Tigan Java, Danger Jada Nijan Shuzer, that the Tamango Lebanon, Loto Maragazo, Debcora Indian Jurio Martin, Diag Marwa.
So there's so much explanation about the Dharma in Buddhism, right? So that you can see there's a Buddha's teaching, which is translated into Tibetan, and there are like 108 volumes of that. And then there's a commentary to those Buddha's teachings, and again, there are more like 220 something volumes of scriptures. You can't, go through all that, texts and study all of them, and have them all in your mind, in your mind by be able to read it by heart. We won't be able to do that. And for you, of course, it's not even translated in English, right?
Okay, to Dodo Rojina Tenanamina, Oma Tudana Carton, Oma Tudana Carton.
It's just like but you can get the gist or the essence of it. Just like when you churn the milk, what do you get from that?
Butter, right? Oma Tudana Butter Marwa.
But if you don't churn it, you will not get the butter, right?
Standing on the Yerin Cordulator, not Nambi Chuna, Yereda, Mig Toda Jaya, call, semi call, level as a month of Debashi, says Debashi.
And so you have to get the essence, the main point of all these teachings, and so that the teaching that accords with our day-to-day life, and so that's the teaching, the essence of all these teachings. They're called the Four Noble Truths.
And then I'm so Dunataya, Debashi, Rotang Chani Motor. Debataya, Debashi, Rotang Motor.
So we can achieve the happiness that we want through understanding the Four Noble Truths. And we can also eradicate the sufferings that we don't want by understanding or by studying and practicing the Four Noble Truths.
Okay, Chedata Debashka, what's the Four Noble Truths?
Suffering, cause of suffering,
Suffering,
cause of suffering, the cessation of suffering, and then the path.
Okay, does he pass?
Yeah, true sufferings, true origins, true cessations, true paths.
Okay. 다른가 담보차서 빼져야 지금이야. 그래서 산지 좀 전에 담보차서 누가 다 할것 같이 계속 말해.
So Buddha said, first understand the suffering.
단대양 신앙서 성당을 말해. 누가는 딱 이거 강박 있는 말 추사대가지고 락바치에서 내가 성당을 말해.
And so when you understand the suffering, doesn't mean that just understanding the suffering of breaking your arms or or a ceiling falling on your head.
나도 강 문제가 있어. 세면 누가 맞대와도 텔레 누가라 문제가 있어.
So not just that, so what suffering means is anything that we don't wish, anything that we don't wish in our mind is suffering.
제가 내 눈치는 없어도.
So like you pinch your hand, you will get hurt, right?
네 소화된 것을 막 죄송하다. 네 소화 자기도 남 재배는 자기도 하고 계속 그래.
So you get that feeling, of pain, right? When you pinch, your arm, and so you understand that. You get that feeling, and you understand that, right? That as a suffering. So that's what it means. Understand the suffering.
단 누구지는 사나 안 사는 아다서 되면 맞지서 제일 잠시해서 못해. 내 살이 가리면 돼.
So when you pinch, then you get the pain. So what was the cause of the pain? It was the pinching, right? So when you pinch, you get the pain and you scream with the pain. So if you don't want to get that pain, then you stop pinching.
다 가만 who loves eat momo? 이거 doesn't love momo.
Oh yeah.
Who loves to have hamburger? McDonald's. Then everyone said, oh, I like hamburgers. Oh, it makes me bigger. We say, oh, it's me bigger by eating all the time. Then you just say it doesn't do the action, right? You say, okay, I'm going to different directions. 제상은 등아 담보 등아 시바제 천한기 간지 딱 등아서 간지 린지 아니 등아 야무나 샘지 소와 등아 강하게 받아 저 샘나 하고와지 무슨 말지 예소말.
Anyway, first, it is important to understand the suffering, and so that the physical sufferings and the mental sufferings that we go through. So you have to understand that as a suffering.
뒷배에는 가서 지금 담보 지금 서버 대만으로 요하는 거 메가로 요와. 메가 만도지 되는 데 멤버라. 양배 앱범에 소소들에 와. 어디로
So, like for example, if we experience some pain in our body, some kind of discomfort in our body, then we say, oh, I don't feel comfortable, or I feel pain, and then therefore you make an appointment, to see a doctor, right?
제가 담보 소소하고 마치 소소대 마대와 하면 거지. 그냥 계산으로는 계속 스테이지 시와 말해 봐 하면은 아니 그 주에 맞춰도 담보 어떻게 되는 거네. 무슨 말 빼는 거도.
So first, in order to cure that disease, you have to understand the disease, right, in your body. So if you feel the pain, then you say, oh, okay, I feel the pain, so then you go see doctor. But if there is a disease in your body which you don't feel, like a cancer sometimes, there's a cancer developing in your body, and then you don't feel it only until like when it comes to like third or fourth stage, and then you feel the pain, you start feeling that, then you go to see, but then it's too late, right? So understanding suffering before is important in order to cure it.
Okay. 다 서프는 갈라게다 남베 가리나 서프 자살라도 가리나 양 미카가 남베 콜로 서프는 강 문제가 되라 강 문제가 순수 문제제도 되라 두마세.
So whatever is that you don't wish to go through, wish to experience, then that is called suffering.
Okay, 다 타데 가리나 가리나 가리 지우쳐도 이게 호방을 질라나 땡가 지우쳐도 고정을 코로나도 챙겨 봐.
그래서
미셔봐 수수 조보 조모 아니 수수 비자 남이 고정을 코로나도 어다 대 누가도 컨트롤 잘 챙겨 봐야.
So for example, like sometimes you get irritated by people around you, like your friends, your family, and then you don't like that, right? So that you don't like that, and then you think, oh, they are suffering. They are the suffering.
They make me suffering. But real suffering, the identified suffering is 내 자, 셰당, 콘투, 차도 오다 되래. 누가 땡이돼.
But it is the delusions, the afflictive emotions in all our mind. That's the real suffering giver, So that's the one that really gives us the suffering.
제가 아니 누가 시바시한테 제가 차로 못 보여서 단 되게 거지. 같이 가면 문제가 누가.
And so there are many levels of sufferings, that we have to understand. But in short, you can just say it's something that we don't wish, it's a suffering.
제가 다 가면 당한데 도움인데 I don't like that. Oh, I hate that. We said that we don't do any action. It doesn't go away. Right now we a little bit getting hot. Is it? Maybe I'm not going to sleep. If you sleep, don't snore, okay? But if we get hard, oh, it's too hard, oh. When we just turn off the heat, the suffering of the heart just go away. Exactly. 그래서 다 너도 맨날 디 주도 가와용도 세 담보 동아 시바샤 동아 동어선 바자서 말아.
And so first, in order to understand where the suffering comes from, you have to understand the suffering.
다 되지만 아니 군주 보마시 저런 디 맨날 너는 디 주도 가와도 대체신 되면서 그래서 방고래서.
So first understand the suffering and then seek where it comes from. And so where it originates or where it comes from. That's called the true origin, right? And then you have to abandon the origin.
다 대라 칼로리 아니 무시발로다 마리발로리 메라 군주라는 무시바들라 마리바 무시바.
So the real origin of the suffering, is the ignorance and not understanding or not knowing the reality.
다 그새 다 대치제소 암주라고 전대 너를 나와 안오랑 난 미시ችን 납도 말아. Sorry to say that.
So people have this tendency here to say, "Oh, I know for everything," right? You can't say, "I don't know." You feel very arrogant, to say, "I don't know." So they always say, "I know."
It's not like that with, oh, I know, that just do something. But I think this maybe not people's problem, maybe like the culture, right? 제 장은 아주 그 미시가 있어 함하고 내가 지는 아주 그냥 농주를 용으로 봐. 농주 제거는.
So if we don't know and we do the things, then we make mistakes, right?
제가 등한 문제는 되게 이제 군주도 매워서 그래서.
And so if you do not wish to have suffering, then you have to abandon, the origin of that suffering.
워낙 군주 매워서 여러 군주가 간지 말이 봤을 때 매워서 여러 같은데 저 여러 간지 로종치네 제거래 로종치.
And then can you eliminate that origin? Can you achieve the cessation of seizing the origin? And yes, it is possible. It's possible. It can be seized. And for that, you have to study or practice the path.
예전에 나도 담보 수분 대화면 멤버사도 멤버 어떤 처음 된다고도 언제치 나도 조카가 됐어서 물렸서는 나서 무슨 제라 아니 멤버 대나서도 참 저 리우죠 여기도 지금 여기도 다 그냥인데 너야 돼 매워서는 저 나서도 답을 넣는 시작으로 와.
It's just like the doctor identifying your disease, right? Says, "Oh, you have such and such disease, and this kind of things, such and such thing harms the disease, harms you, harms your body, or brings that disease. So if you want to get rid of the disease, then you have to stop those things, that causes you to get sick."
Right? Then say if you're getting big, the doctors say don't go to McDonald's, they will stop. You continue going to the work. They are going to 제가 저런 게 배나 누야가 칼런도 마사나 저런 타르고 나사도 타그래 해서네. 아니 아무튼 대선을 전에 쉬는 것도 매사로.
And so he says, if you stop eating the food that causes harm to you, then you can get rid of the disease in your body. And then the doctor will say, okay, so for that you have to take this and this medicine, and then you take the medicine.
Right? 제자다 군주 방화셨나 군주 때 매워서 그래서 돼서 열에서는 아니 대 군주 매워 배나는 군주 방에 방황 못해서 도와야 돼서 염나 상지에서 상세 지야요 그래서 아니 대 아니 템바시는 템바 숨바 목이 돼 마스
And so you can, this origin of the suffering, the delusions, can be abandoned, and because you can abandon it, therefore you can achieve the state of cessation, and a cessation, where you have ceased all the sufferings and the causes of sufferings, right? So like liberation or state of full enlightenment. So you can achieve that, but in order to achieve that, you have to practice the path to achieve that.
다 되게 바디가 남도 곰네 아니 저런 거 뭐가 들어서 아니 시와대 아니 남지대 봐서 돼 모든 모르듯이 했더니 말.
And so that's the third truth, is the true cessation. And then in order to achieve that cessation, you have to practice the path, to study and practice the path. And that's the fourth truth.
간제 가랑 나라서 강 문제가 둥아대 마스
So the first one is the true suffering, which is the suffering that we do not wish, right? And then where does that suffering come from? It's the origin of the suffering, the delusions, right? That's the origin, the true origin. And so then can we achieve that cessation of ceasing the suffering and the cause of suffering? Yes, just like when you take the medicine, right, you can get cured. So that so I say, oh, I'm better, and I'm better. That means like I don't have, I'm free from the disease. I'm better, right? Like that. So you can become better. You can be free from the disease, and you can become better. And so, in order to get better, of course, you have to understand the medicine to take it, and then you take the medicine. So then you get better, just like that. Then you have to understand the path or study the path, and then put that into practice. And then through that, you can achieve the cessation or freedom from all the sufferings and the cause of sufferings. And so these are the two sets of cause and effects, right? So the first one is the suffering and the cause of the suffering. So something that we do not wish, and what brings that thing that we do not wish, right? So that's the cause and oneself. And then other is something that we wish, like the freedom from the suffering and the cause of suffering. And then what brings that kind of freedom or cessation. So those are the two sets of cause and effects. So like anything that we do not wish, right? So like without the glasses, you can't read. So not being able to read without glasses is suffering.
Right? It's not comfortable, right? You wear the glass, but not you don't see. They not that young take dungan maruna, Cambodia mila dawa with the upset.
And so if you do not wish to have that kind of suffering of having to wear the glasses, then you should take care of your eyes.
Then don't look phone all the time. I'm just kidding, okay. And
so now we're going to go to our actual study topic, which is the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life. And among the 10 chapters, we're on the 6th chapter, the chapter on patience. His Holiness always gives the example about the practice, the patience, with in relation to the Buddhist way of life. And so there are all these different chapters on in the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life. Some explains about the patience, some explains about effort, some explains about the generosity, and so forth, right? So what is the whole meaning of the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life?
The thing that Shantideva Sera Jey Monastic
And so the combined meaning of the whole Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life is just like the verse that we recite, right? The precious bodhicitta, mind, right? Not generated, have generated, which is generated, not decline, but increase furthermore. So it's all about that. The whole teaching on the Guide to Buddhist Way of Life, is to generate bodhicitta, which has not generated, and to not decline it, if one has, which has been generated, and then that which has generated, you increase furthermore. So it's all about that.
In order to learn what means bodhicitta, is this bodhicitta? This is precious bodhicitta. It was wrong. Why not not bodhicitta?
It's not a mind.
Good. Okay, what is the like identify or bodhicitta? How you understand bodhicitta? Bodhicitta means what? I'm going to Boston. That thought is bodhicitta. I'm going to eat McDonald's. Maybe people they like McDonald's. I'm talking of always Dunkin' Donut coffee. Now people give me a lot of Dunkin' Donut coffee gift cards. Well, I'm not going to the McDonald's, okay? I just give some examples. Right? I'm going to eat ice cream. That thought is bodhicitta. Okay, what kind of bodhicitta?
Wish to reach enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings.
So a little loud people can hear.
The wish to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings.
Okay, are you guys follow that? Are you sure? They're not Tibet? Okay. Being charged away na, Mandutan Tambo Lojon Chivakabaya. And a Lojon chair the Maumba Ching, Zambi Mamala, Harry Chenda, Ching yes, and we come to Cherry Levachivana, Maumba Cool, that Lojon, luckily I'll talk about. Told you Kalani of Chetua.
So it's just like no, altruism, an altruistic attitude. Say like you're going to study, and I'll say I'm going to study so that I can benefit, numberless peoples in this world. If you think like that, and then you study with that part, right? And then later when you graduate or obtain that knowledge, then you will be able to use it, for the benefit of numberless sentient beings.
Okay. That is a challenge. You got the Shantu Center, Jes Hemching Chedo, Ninyamedi Cheri. Jes Hemching Chedo, Masanji Kobotogo, or the biggest sum to Kuno, De Kenny, and some to Data de Lagachana, Shantu Center de Lagaches and Coco.
So that thought, you wish you generate, to do something. I say I'm in order to benefit other sentient beings, I'm going to do this practice. In order to benefit other sentient beings, I'm going to practice or gain enlightenment and so forth. So any kind of action you engage in, with the thought to benefit others, then that's like a bodhicitta mind.
Okay. That Kadian Jozo Shantu Central Rinpoche, Marchi or Shantu, Pana, Manzo Peshanaya, and a Semche Band Gender Shidan, Kaji Jeng Ten, Miss Semche Shen Tendia, some Tandela, and Kaji Shantu Center Gold.
So in the text, it says the generation of the mind of enlightenment, is to work for the benefit of others. Right? So you generate the mind. Wishing to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of others. So that kind of mind is called bodhicitta.
And the Yada Sanjay, there's Sanjay, I forgot that text. It's all about Yada. And the Sanjay Yang Chet, some of the Dani, Karchun, Yada Sanjay Kobato is.
So the wish, to benefit others, so it says the mind of the generation of the mind is to wish to benefit others, and also generation of the mind is to gain enlightenment for the benefit of others, right? And so what is the wish? The wish is to gain enlightenment, and for what? To benefit others. And so that mind is called bodhicitta.
That thing is simply Taji Shiva to get married. How called the gentleman? That they also get the Gomja.
So that kind of mind, you know what it is, right? So first you have to know what it is, and then just by understanding that's the mind, it will not be stable in your mind. It will not be stable, or you will not have that kind of mind all the time in your continuum. So in order to have that stable or be there all the time in your continuum, you have to practice and meditate on that again and again.
Okay,
so now we're going to do that, okay? So meditate for a little while.
Okay, me is the Taran something they show. And something they told me, something they show.
And now you can just think, being a good person. So I say, I'm going to be a good person. In this world, I'm going to be a good person. And just put your mind on that thought. I'm going to be a good person.
Okay. 뭐야, 나네 주들이야. 나미 야보 임바 맞지. 미 셔야 패도청이 저기 이해서 따로 삼대 되죠. 좀 멋지시 담셔도 멋지시.
Not only being a good person, but I'm going to be a person who is beneficial for others. So just keep your mind on that thought.
나네 주들이야. 아니 대리가 라레 등하나 딱이 있어. 미 셴발라 팬토에 내가 등하나 지역이 있으면 다리 좀 된대 주.
Then after that thing that I'm going to put into practice to benefit others, not just have the thought, but I'm going to do the things to benefit others. So keep your mind on that part.
뭐야, 다 선거 담당 대례가지고 상적적인 문조도 오지. 가라로는데 디자인도 차요. 디자인 말 아프리카도 오지.
So that's like the prerequisite, for generating bodhicitta, the mind of enlightenment. It's like an appetizer, for food.
너 부딪히다 이게. 다른 상주세 문에 결어나 이제 샘칭이 체대가 상계 공부통에 책이 인삼 좀 대주지 먹고.
And so for the actual bodhicitta, you have to think that I'm going to gain enlightenment for the benefit of others. So you have to have that strong thought in your mind all the time.
오케이. 다 듣는 영어라 단다 쇼주 때 담보 샤치고서 맞게와 깨와시베가 내가 담보니 봐 숨었는데 샤치고서 맞게와 됐다 수지를 깨와지고 딜레가 숨송을.
And so in order to generate the mind of enlightenment or bodhicitta that has not been generated yet, you study the first 3 chapters of the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life.
아니 드네 아니 시왕과 두 받는데 강한 깨와 샤치고서 미니베 냠에 돼 숨을.
And then the 4th, 5th, and 6th chapter, are the teachings, on how to not degenerate the bodhicitta that you have just generated.
아니 덤바제와 고았는데 든든히 샤치고서
And then the 7th, 8th, and 9th chapter, are the chapters that explains how to increase the bodhicitta that has been generated, that has been not declined, and that has been generated, we are not declined, but how to increase even more. And then the 10th chapter is the chapter on dedication, how to dedicate all these merits that you have created by generating bodhicitta, by studying all those, the 9 chapters, to gain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings.
Chapter 2 chapter 2 나 가르쳐 주세요. 상징에서 냐에
And this 5th chapter on the Bodhisattva Way of Life, it explains about the patience. The patience, is the main antidote, for the delusion, anger.
Right?
So it's just like said, there's no sin like a hatred, and there's no fortitude like patience. So Buddha said, don't get angry. Why should not I get angry? Because if you get angry, then you will not be happy, and all the people around you, your friends, your families, will not be happy also.
It's true. Who very happy to when you get mad? Because you chant on the big, meet the pay out
So some people, like when they get drunk, they get very happy, right? So do you get happy when you become angry?
So
this is true, right? But it's just that we don't understand. But it's true that when we're angry, we don't get, we're not happy, right? So so you have to understand that, and then you apply the means to not get angry.
Okay. Now we're going to start what page? Verse 3.
103.
103.
I think
Okay.
we did this one last time.
Good. 다들 가르려나? 다 조서로 공부를. 조와 코로나에 따라서 공부를 마셔. 자산은 리더가 조 그러나 그 연구를 말아.
So who do you practice patience upon? You have to practice patience upon person who is causing you to be angry. But otherwise, you don't have to practice patience.
Who push your button? The wrong button, emergency button. That we need to awareness, aware the patient. It does not mean the other person totally, right. We have to wrong. It's not like talk about that, okay? Sometimes you say, oh, I have to be patient and I have to.
So you don't have to take the lost, right? So you don't have to be defeated. You don't have to take the lost all the time when you practice patience.
Okay. 제가 다 네가 가대 다가 한전지 아니 내려서 봐 메제나 손 전에 년에 봐 내가 다 그렇게 마시 다 저랑이 코로나게 가제 저랑은 공중 나야게 깨용 깨 대가로 되는 저랑 서로 공부하거나 아니 손무사하게 저랑이 솔라요 되는데 저랑 봐 매워서 저기 돼서.
So in the verse 103, it says, if due to my own failings, I'm not patient with this enemy, then it is only I who am preventing myself from practicing this cause for gaining merit. Right? And so if you stop practicing patience towards somebody who is causing you to be angry, and then you are losing the chance or the opportunity to create a merit. So if you had practiced patience, then you had created a merit. because you didn't practice, so then you don't get to create merit. So you lost the chance to create merit.
제가 저것을 공부해. 남주 최상 자기 양보 자기가 그런 것도 저금서 다니고 요 말이에요.
So who do you have to practice patience upon, right? So if everything is going well, then there's no need to practice patience, right? You don't have the situation to practice patience.
Right? 제자 때는 다 안에 정원이야. 코로나 등에 저런 저 거면 저대 나면 되는데 대처럼 솔직히도 저런 파 비슷 하시죠. 그래서 대처럼 견해서
So when do you practice patience is when somebody pressing your button or making you angry, right? And so that is the time when you practice patience. But instead of practicing patience, we get angry. So we, push away the opportunity to practice patience.
어찌됐지 다 저러가 자도 아침에 세대기 다 우리 뭐 되게 갈라고 두스나 아니 조바 검색이 열다 아니 조바니 제대 차되게 그래서
And so the verse 104 is saying that the object upon which you practice patience and the patient and the practice of patience becomes cause and effect.
앞에 차샤와이나 아니 가로서 매도 개운도와
For example, like now it's a spring, right? The flowers are blooming or growing.
만도 통대의 매도도 제 저차고
So this flower that that we see blooming is the effect, right? It's the result.
Right. Yes, true, right. 뒤에 매도 미는 통대요 뒤에 저 세븐데 사고를 넣으면은 그게요 말아.
So that beautiful flower that you see blooming, if you haven't sowed the seed of that flower in the ground, then you will not see that flower, right?
True, right. 다데도 비자도 중요하다. 강시 감면 문주라. 강시 연나 여지바. 대니 대게나 제타테나 계시샤스.
So just like it is said in this verse, right? If without it something does not occur, and if with it it does come to be, then since this enemy would be the cause of patience, how can I say that the enemy prevents it?
Okay. 애니멀은 가지고 코로나게 되나 소소 코로나게 돼.
The enemy here is referring to someone who is irritating you, who is making you angry.
It's not means that someone you holding your gun or some knife or something. No, not that. Who push your button? Your husband, wife, boyfriend, neighbors, co-workers. Who's push your button? They change channel
So that person, is the cause for the practice of patience in you.
But I already told you guys, we need to also very skillful. Now sometimes we say, oh, I have to patient or everything, whatever he or she they will do. But it's not like that. We need to be very skillful.
Skillful.
Yeah. 제가 아니 제가 강시 맨날 문제와도 가르치나 아니 제가 강시 강 맨날 문제와서 제가 가르치바나 제대 맨날 문제와데 아니 강시 요나 요지바데 제대 요와이나 제바데 좋아데 다 되게 지차로 그래 대리마이자 대니 대 제나스 아니 제대 요나 제바데 요 초야 염나 요나 요가 대니 티 제바이나 대다팀 제바 제대 제바데 요나 개레 라와요 말아서 빠치리도 라요 말아서
And so he says, if without it, something does not occur. So without the cause, the effect will not occur. There will be no effect or result without the cause, right? And if it, and if with it, it does come to be. So as if there is a cause, then there will be a result. So he said, then since the enemy would be the cause of the patience, how can I say that the enemy prevents it? So the enemy is the cause of the patient, right? And so enemy is the one who produces the patience. It's not the one who prevents the patience and prevents the patient, the practice of patience, right? And so we can't, because it's a cause, therefore we can't say it is, it is the one that hinders, or prevents, from generating the patience in our mind.
제가 메타로에 제거나 메토 제가 세븐데 메토 제가 개리 아니 메토 제가 줘다 르다 치는 메토 제가 개리 받쳐야 아니 메토 관계 묘사는 거고.
It's just like saying, the seed, is the one that prevents the flower from growing it, or it's saying like the fertilizers, the earth, the mud, the fertilizer, or the water, the heat, the warmth, and so forth, is the one that prevents the flower from growing. Then what can you find, to make the flower grow without those things? So the medicine, is a cause, to cure the disease, or is cause to bring the disease?
Are you sure? There are no what's that? Side effect? What's it? Side effects.
Those can happen too.
It's happened that there. Usually it was okay, take Talina. But the Talina effect you liver, don't take. 제가 드리는 것도 남이 주야부 장고는 진정을 놓으셔. 진정을 놓다는데. 저는 레오디 만드는 제대 마사하사를 제대 만들어서 제대 배워치겠어요.
And so it all talks about the karmic law of cause and effect, right? So it's all about cause and effect. And so if you don't wish to have the result or the effect, then don't create the cause.
단 니는 가르는 배차 쇼로가 미시 자나 재미 시리 갈라도스나 아니 그나 소바 곰발라 때네 아니 손사야 개와사야 돼 아니 컨트롤랑에 되게 뭐나 소소를 단데 잡으려냐 셔 되오면 간지 컨트롤랑에 되게 랑발라 때네 소소때 소바 그발라 때네 돼 요게 완전 가지고 컨트롤랑에 돼 소소 소바 고야게 Zopa Gumbala Teni Gavasayagi, the Yonaminaries.
And so what is he saying is that the merit that you create by practicing patience, and it comes from someone who makes you angry. And so I think that the enemy is not really good to say it here, but then it feels like someone else, but it could be anybody. Like Geshe mentioned earlier about like your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your brother, sister, anybody who irritates you, who makes you angry, is a cause for you to practice patience. And it's also called cause, for the merit that you accumulate by practicing patience. So you will not be able to create a merit of practicing patience without these people who makes you get angry.
Yes,
Just a quick clarification. When it says cause, it doesn't mean substantial cause, though, right? It would just be the condition.
Yeah. Condition, yeah, of course, yeah. It's not subsequent. And the Karina contract on Zobat Shibarwa. And the Kurulagi Kazaji, the Chidi Jim Kishamari, Yelek Jim Kishamari.
Yeah, so of course, we're talking about both the cause and condition. So it doesn't have to be just the main cause, so like the seed is the cause, but other things are conditioned. But without other things, you cannot have the effect also, so it all depends on that. So that's like a cause too.
Cause money that Yelek Jede Mariba Chade, Sujala Mariba, and the Kondro thing Yelek and Rochojo Mariba, what there is,
And of course, the real cause, a real cause or the substantial cause, is the thing that turns into a result, like the seed that turns into a flower. The mud and the fertilizers and the water doesn't turn into a flower. It's the seed that turns. So therefore, the seed is the real cause, the substantial cause. And just like that, for the patients, the mind, that it's the real cause, of the patient is the mind. Is the people that around you, like brother, sister, and so forth, is the condition. It's not the substantial cause.
Okay. 제가 조바 검사가 연대 연나 조바 검사 연거 조바 검사가 연 컨트롤하게 되면 조바 검사 연거 맞더니 맨날 뭐 주고 지내지.
And so if you don't have someone who is irritating you or making you angry, then you can't practice patience. So in order to practice patience, you have to have those kind of people around you, and so those are the like dependent on each other.
Okay, now a little bit and meditation, analytical meditation for the meaning of this verse. What I'm just talking about a little bit is okay. Is it true or is it not really true? Or is it true? Then how can we practice? Okay, a little meditation, analytical. Okay, not concentration. Is analytical the meaning of this verse. Okay, how's it? Do you? Through the meditation, we can feel the meaning or the result when we study. Otherwise, we say, oh, Tibetan is a momo. Okay, it's a momo is very delicious. Everyone's, oh, momo is very delicious. Then you feel, you believe it doesn't matter. You don't get. Just go to restaurant. The restaurant momo is not that good. Ask her to some Tibetan family to make momo. Then you eat, or say, wow. Then someone says, oh, momo is not good. You say, yeah, I did. I have experienced. It's very delicious. The same thing like that. We just read this text, then you meditation, analytical meditation, you feel, oh, it's true, it's working. Where did it come from, the merit of compassion? It's good. I'm just everything is very good. Practice patient. Then we can say, oh, the birds can meditation patient, they just stay very, like today, I'm sure they're very quiet there, they're reading. It's not something to, situation, push you a button, then we have true awareness to this kind of verses. Okay? Do a little bit more meditation, And also, something we just hate it, did it. We don't really, investigation of our own action. One of the problems, we have a very strong ego. We said, no, I'm not an ego person. We said that, right? At once. Including myself. We said, we are very ego. How? We don't want to give up our own view, our own idea, our own belief. Right? Someone said, that's not, yeah, this is the truth. That's wrong. That's wrong. You're wrong. She's wrong. This should be a very strong ego for all of us. Right? And therefore, how is that? This is one of the big problems for all of us. We need to pour water for our ego. Then we say, I don't have ego. Then you can check, really I have ego? Ego means not so much, I'm the better than everyone, none of that. You're just our own idea, our own thoughts. We don't want to change our, I say,
We're not able to change our way of thinking.
Therefore, we don't really think, I'm very wrong something, or I'm very like, stupid person. We don't think this, or I'm perfect. That's not wrong. We need to just, you don't have to say, I'm checking myself. Don't say, just by yourself also, I'm that person. Also, sometimes we feel if we give up, we lose something. According to Buddhism, is not losing, just you really understand for the reality. Like that. Okay. The job go there. Are you sure? Okay, like that. Any questions? Yes.
I had a question going back to when you were talking about suffering. Krishna, I think you said that that suffering is something that we don't wish to experience. But what about when the Kadampa masters say that they welcome suffering, because it extinguishes their negative karma, and they don't even like when good things happen. If they welcome the suffering, is it still suffering?
For them, not suffering.
It's not suffering.
For them, not suffering. For us, of course, we have enough to our own problem. We don't need others. But really, also, when they that they call so change doing a social young show, change doing the kind of social young was nothing.
Of course, we just defined that suffering is something that do not wish, right? But the Kadampa masters, they wish that, so therefore it's not suffering.
They young women, maybe bena, Charlie bena, Gishelagi, Dumati, Malayo, somebody, doing young man, and the Charang, some of the payment to Chuchimacharo.
So your wish, of course, they wish, the Kadampa masters, they wish the other suffering to be ripened on them. But of course, that's not going to happen. But their wish is very good, right? So, therefore, of course, it's not suffering. And like you can say, may I experience, the sufferings of Geshe-la? You can have that wish, but you will not be able to experience or take the suffering from Geshe-la.
Mental support,
Like the physical suffering that Geshe-la is going through, like whether it's the suffering of pain or burn and pricking and so forth. So all that suffering, you can't take it. It has to be experienced by Geshe-la himself, like that. But that mind, the altruistic mind, wishing to take upon the sufferings of others, is very strong. So therefore that increases your merit a lot.
Okay.
Isn't almost everything though suffering? I mean, isn't almost everything is suffering, really? Because you've got the suffering of, even if you're happy about something and you're having a great time, that has to end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like, isn't that kind of like,
And we have not suffering why we live here. We don't have any happiness, how we live here. 제가 소소 싸움당하는 대문의 경우에 쇼츠니 대로 가르는 간도 동아이 제외 동아 저 동아마로 섬이와 대나로 판대로 그래. 간도 다는 대화 문에다 말했어. 대화고 가로 타지. 문에 많이 게 돼.
Yeah, so you're right, that the suffering that we experience or the happiness that we experience seems like happiness, but it's not really happiness. Like when we talk about the suffering of change, so that falls into that category of suffering, the suffering of change, because there's the happiness that we think is happiness, and it's not really happiness. Because it changes into suffering, therefore it's called suffering of change.
everything someone or touching a sound downtown, getting the telea, somebody was.
And so we have to understand what is real suffering and what is real happiness, right? If we don't understand that, then we strongly, believe that something that is not real happiness as a real happiness. So, this is happy. I want to do this. I want to experience this. And then we get very strong, clinging to that. and then we strive or we run after that. But then at the end, then it ends up getting more suffering to us. So that's the suffering of change.
제가 내가 차바슈좀 제야 말이야. 차바슈좀 선바슈좀 맞춰봐. 내가 맞춰.
And so, so not having strong attachment to that or not strongly clinging to that is important.
Example, this is my $8 glass. $8. 3 years ago, I bought $8. I don't have any touch. It's broken. I don't have any touch. I went to the eye doctor. They give me glass. They give me $300. $300. I have very strong attachment. I just pay the color. Because it's $300. This is better than that. But still, I don't have any attachment. It's broken. I don't care.
Right.
Other one broken. $300. Maybe I can use next year. How to touch anything is more bothers us. Therefore, whatever we have seen happen, also enjoy. I'm not saying this is something don't enjoy. Enjoy your life. Enjoy, rejoice.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Enjoy and rejoice.
Yeah, enjoy, rejoice, whatever you have. Awareness of that. Not say, oh, I'm just suffering, things, Buddhism say everything is suffering, they're terrible, tomorrow's terrible, nothing like that. Just whatever we have, enjoy that. Then do as much as we can.
Chaba Marathon.
Chaba marathon, yeah. Without attachment. Therefore, without it broken, I don't really care. It's really, really, small things give very big teaching for us. Big things doesn't give teaching for us. Small things. You see, my glass, $8, 3-4 years ago I bought, broken many times, but I don't have any touch, I don't care. When I go I just put the bucket. Another one, I just put use my phone, I put the cover, front, back, touch me. It's broken, we get very, why am I broken? Therefore, you can check your own things, small things, gives how you develop your attachment. Most useful things. Usually sometimes we have a lot of clothes, we buy a lot of clothes, including myself, I have a lot of shoes. But we use all the time same. We don't really use. But attachment, we need more. Anyway, this is my own experience. We need to, through the experience, to some practice, such as, he said, this is very good glass, very useful, very cheap. Broken, I don't care, I can get another one. My another one, I put the cover nicely, put the cover, just always there. Like that, okay? Yes.
Thank you for that question, because I was wondering when we're talking about the enemy or someone who, is close to us that pushes our button, sometimes in my experience, there's a lot of attachment to this person. So then I'm not able to see that this person is really benefiting me and allowing me to practice patience because of my attachment to this person or to this situation. So I, like when I was meditating, I can feel myself like I'm just like I can't even get there because I was so attached to the person and to that subject. So I was wondering, how do you separate the attachment of like to yourself and also to that person and how do you separate it from your willingness to practice patience?
갈라서
Kora tangazo tanda de sosola tachi kondolange de nange de injibi jama de dying gomares. Soso gawnya wudende ta soso kondola ba na ta te kondolange charo de tone de ngazo. So bagom chug을 쓰고라. Enata ta de ngazo de kondolange ngazo chabo yora ngazo bena gawnya wul ngazo chabo yora. Anata kondolange de daden ngazo shadara kata chabo yomara. De jedo ko da lela yora da korala ta chi so bagomese karsa de kondo karsa da di dada utai lelawera. The social governor will trouble you than the data cover. Kadcha will this water.
Then Drata,
Data then a condition of a good worth.
Drata, think when I'm going to go, oh, Drata, Kupa, do what I matter. Coach and Karicham, Chana, go up to us meeting.
So now here we're not talking about seeing someone as enemy, so that's why, earlier it says the enemy is not really a good word to use here, because it could be your loved ones, so someone that you are attached to, your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, girlfriend, or even your parents, right? So they can irritate you too. They can press your button. And if they are the one who is pressing a button, then they are the object, to practice patience on. And so in Buddhism, we're not saying like those are bad, not like those are bad. We're saying that they are very kind to us. Even someone who is not close to you, someone who is not attached to, who you are not attached to, and someone you hate, and someone who cause harm to you, even that person, should be seen as very kind for you, for giving you the opportunity to practice patience.
Okay, we not say you have to look for them all bad person. They're not bad person.
Yeah.
Because another way, does we make others uncomfortable? Maybe we don't say how we uncomfortable. We do it all the time, right? How we say, how we do things, but we don't have attention the first time. Today I want to make them to mad. No. Maybe second, third time they say, oh, that person not like that. But first we don't have. It's exactly the same. The other person makes for us uncomfortable. They don't have meditation. Today I won't go push that button. But how their situation, how we situation, some all come together, mix together, then boom. It's good if you say that that person is not intentionally to harm us or make me push button. They're also going through ignorant, also because, oh, he's an ignorant guy, bad. No, talk about that. Through the ignorant doing this, I have to understand and stop just just do it, because it makes also a lot of problems also solve. I always say, India, Mahatma Gandhi, they teach for us, close your eyes, close your ear, close your mouth. 1 minute. Don't look everywhere, there's some problems. Then don't listen for everything what you did. If that's your no business, you're not able to do, just go ahead, don't keep that. Don't say things always, what do you think? Because this three doors is a big problem. I saw that, or I hear that, I thought, therefore, keep quiet, don't look, just look from you. Just watch some movie. It doesn't bother us. Usually I will tell you that Tibetan monks, we watch like very violent movies. People say, you teach that compassion. How you watch that? How are you able to watch that? We know this is fake. We don't have any feeling. We just like the action. Even we don't hear the situation, what going on, but we like to the action. We know they just feel. We don't have any bad feeling, even if they're killing bad. It's like that. Therefore, if something bothers you, I always say, if anything bothers you, don't go in that situation yourself. If fire burns you, don't jump the fire. Just go away from fire. Like that, okay, not talk too much. We are go over time. We going to also today pray for dependent ordination for requirement from the APMD, APMT. Maybe Bob, you have the link you can share for the Rinpoche's passing. I don't know what use that English, maybe down there. Words we say. Kanta yansi don't enjoy the try the marasu some of society.
So, so we're saying this is for Rinpoche, but not really for Rinpoche, it's for ourselves and for Rinpoche's reincarnation to to be reborn quickly, and so that so that we can have Rinpoche come into the life and then benefit numberless individuals just like he did in this life, so he can continue to do that for the benefit of all individuals. So for that reason, we're going to recite this prayer in praise of dependent rising.
근데 땐데 네 나라에다가 남의 죽은 대신 남의 다 죽셔서 사람마다 차단듯이 자기 그래.
And in this teaching, this prayer in praise of dependent rising explains the whole thing about Buddhism.
오케이? 근데 산지 좀 된 지르부지가 산지 좀 된 지난 게 썸로 땅땅 썸로 땅땅 야포 묘의 제외자니 딱 도와비려 썸로 땅땅 그자니 야무나 냠내 제당에서 도와비려.
So it's like reciting the whole teaching, and it's in independence. In praise of the dependent rising. So praising the Buddha for teaching the dependent rising. So the correct thought or correct view. And so it's like praising. Oh, what you explain is so nice, so beautiful, so correct, like that. So about that, is the prayer is called in praise of dependent rising.
Okay. Good. Okay. If you have text, you can follow text. If you look at the here, that's good.
Okay.
Can you see?
I can do it.
Yeah, you're closer if you could.
Okay,
I'm not confident on that.
You want this?
I
I
think it's okay.
think people can hear you. You're big, good voice.
He who speaks on the basis of seeing, this makes him a knower and teacher unexcelled. I vow to you, O conqueror, you who taught dependent origination and taught it. Whatever degenerations there are in the world, the root of all these is ignorance. You taught that it is dependent origination, the seeing of which will undo this ignorance. So how can an intelligent person not comprehend that this path of dependent origination is the essential point of your teaching? This being so, who will find, O Savior, a more wonderful way to praise you than to praise you for having taught this origination through dependence?
Whatsoever depends
On
on
conditions, that is devoid of intrinsic existence. What excellent instruction can there be more amazing than this proclamation? By grasping at it, the childish strengthen bondage to extreme views. For the wise is very fact to cut free from the net of elaborations. Since this teaching is not seen elsewhere, you alone are the teacher. Like calling a fox a lion, for a treatise it would be a word of flattery. Wondrous teacher, wondrous refuge, wondrous speaker, wondrous savior. I pay homage to that teacher who taught well dependent origination.
to help
To
heal
heal sentient beings, O benefactor, you have taught the fearless reason to ascertain emptiness, the heart of the teachings. This way of dependent origination, those who perceive it as contradictory or as unestablished, how can they comprehend your system? For you, when one sees emptiness in terms of the meaning of dependent origination, then being devoid of intrinsic existence and possessing valid functions do not contradict. Whereas when one sees the opposite, since there can be no function in emptiness, nor emptiness in what has functions, one falls into a dreadful abyss you maintain. Therefore, in your teaching, seeing dependent origination is hailed, that too not as an utter non-existence, nor as an intrinsic existence.
The non-contingent is like a sky flower. Hence, there is nothing that is not dependent. If things exist through their existence, their dependence on causes and conditions for their existence is a contradiction. Therefore, since no phenomena exist other than origination through dependence, no phenomena exist other than being devoid of intrinsic existence you taught. Because intrinsic nature cannot be negated, if phenomena possess some intrinsic nature, nirvana would become impossible, and elaborations could not be ceased to taught. Therefore, who could challenge you, you who proclaim with a lion's roar in the assembly of learned ones repeatedly that everything is utterly free of intrinsic nature? That there is no intrinsic existence at all, and that all functions as this arising in dependence on that, what need is there to say that these two converge without conflict? It is through the reason of dependent origination that one does not lean towards an extreme,
that you declare this excellently is the reason,
O Savior, of your
you
being
being an
an
unexcelled
unexcelled
teacher. All of this is devoid of essence, and from this arises that effect. These two certainties complement each other with no contradiction at all. What is more amazing than this? What is more marvelous than this? If one praises you in this manner, this is real praise, otherwise not. Being enslaved by ignorance, those who fiercely oppose you, what is so astonishing about their being unable to bear the sound of no intrinsic existence? But having accepted dependent origination, the precious treasure of your speech, but not tolerating the roar of emptiness, this I find amazing indeed. The door that leads to no intrinsic existence, this unexcelled door of dependent origination, through its name alone, if one grasps that intrinsic existence, now this person who lacks the unrivaled entrance, well traveled by the noble ones, by what means should one guide him to the excellent path that pleases you? Intrinsic nature, uncreated and non-contingent, dependent origination, contingent and created. How can these two converge upon a single basis without contradiction? Therefore, whatever originates dependently, though primarily free of intrinsic existence, appears as if it does possess intrinsic existence, so you taught all this to be illusion-like. Through this very fact I understand well the statement that, to what you have taught, those opponents who challenge you cannot find faults that accord with reason. Why is this so? Because by declaring these chances for reification and denigration towards things seen and unseen are made most remote. Through this very path of dependent origination, the rationale for your speech being peerless, convictions arise in me also that your other words are valid too. You who speak excellently by seeing as it is, for those who train in your footsteps, all degenerations will become remote, for the root of all faults will be undone. But those who turn away from your teachings, though they may struggle with hardships for a long time, faults increase evermore as if being called forth, for they make firm the view of self. Aha, when the wise comprehend the difference between these two, why would they not at that point revere you from the depths of their being? Let alone your numerous teachings, even in the meaning of a small part, those who find ascertainment in a cursory way, this brings supreme bliss to them as well. Alas, my mind was defeated by ignorance, though I sought refuge for a long time in such an embodiment of excellence. I possess not a fraction of his qualities. Nonetheless, before the stream of this life flowing toward death has come to cease, that I have found slight faith in you, even this I think is fortunate. Among teachers, the teacher of dependent origination, among wisdoms, the knowledge of dependent origination. You who are most excellent, like the kings of the world, know this perfectly well, not others. All that you have taught proceeds by way of dependent origination. That too is done for the sake of nirvana. You have no deeds that do not bring peace. Alas, your teaching is such, in whoever's ears it falls, they all attain peace. So who would not be honored to uphold your teaching? It overcomes all opposing challenges. It frees from contradictions between earlier and later parts. For this system beings two aims. For this system my joy increases evermore. For its sake you have given away again and again over countless eons, sometimes your body and others your life, as well as your loving kin and resources of wealth. Seeing the qualities of this teaching pulls hard from your heart, just like what a fish does to a fish. Sad it is not to have heard it from you. The intensity of that sorrow does not let go of my mind, just like the mind of a mother constantly goes after her child. Here too I reflect on your words, I think blazing with the glory of noble marks, and haloed in a net of light rays. The teacher in a voice of pristine melody spoke thus in such a way. Instant such a reflection of the sage's form appears in my mind, it soothes me, just as the moon rays heal fever's pains. This excellent teaching, most marvelous, some individuals who are not so learned have entangled in utter confusion, just like the tangled baldaza grass. Seeing this situation, I strove with a multitude of efforts to follow after the learned ones and sought your intention again and again. At such times as I studied the numerous works of both our own middle way and other schools, my mind became tormented evermore, constantly by a network of doubts. The nightly grove of Urgyen's treatises, Urgyen, of whom you prophesied would unravel your excellent vehicle as it is, shunning extremes of existence and non-existence, illuminated by the garland of white lights of Chandra's well-uttered insights, Chandra whose stainless wisdom orb is full, who glides freely across the scripture's space, who dispels the darkness of extremist hearts and outshines the constellations of false speakers. When through my teacher's kindness I saw this, my mind found rest at last. Of all your deeds, your speech is supreme. Within that too is this very speech. So the wise should remember the Buddha through the teaching of dependent origination. Following such a teacher and having become a renunciate, having studied the conqueror's words not too poorly, this monk strives in the yogic practices, such is the depth of his reference to the great seer. Since it is due to my teacher's kindness, I have met with the teachings of the unself teacher. I dedicate this virtue too toward the cause, for all beings to be sustained by sublime spiritual mentors. May the teaching of this beneficent one till the world's end be unshaken by the winds of evil thoughts. May it always be filled with those who find conviction in the teacher by understanding the teaching's true nature. May I never falter even for an instant to uphold the excellent way of the sage, which illuminates the principle of dependent origination through all my births, even giving away my body and life. May I spend day and night carefully reflecting by what means can I enhance this teaching achieved by the Supreme Savior through strenuous efforts over countless eons. As I strive in this with pure intention, may Brahma, Indra, and the world's guardians and protectors such as Mahakala unswervingly always assist me.
Okay, now you can send luck. Usual.
So, regular prayers?
Yeah, sorry.
We do all the
Oh,
prayer,
yeah,
the regular what we do.
yeah.
Oh. Sorry. The fast one? The fast prayers?
I could do a little faster. I could do a little short.
I'm not sure what those are, but I'll
Just read.
I'll just read it and stop.
Thanksgiving, okay.
Page 39, the Thanksgiving mandala. Round, perfume anointed, flowers strewn, marrow for last sun and moon adorned, seated in the field and offered, thus may all sentient beings enjoy pure lens. May my venerable Lama's life be firm, his white divine action spread in the 10 directions. May the torch of the teachings of Losang always remain, dispelling the darkness of all beings in the 3 times. Send forth this jeweled mandala to you, precious. From my 2 collections vast in space that I've amassed and working with effort and practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief living Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom eyes are blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my lives, one Jushri. May I find the best of complete great paths in the teachings, and may I ease all Buddhas by practicing, using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion. May I clear the darkness of the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I hold the Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted boundless peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time. By even this great course, when when completed due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children, may all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent class never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path raised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the 10-fold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may wishes of prosperity spread everywhere. In that snow mountain encircled land, source of every benefit and joy, may Lord Tenzin Gyatso Chenrezig remain in life till samsara's end. Should we do the prayer that His Holiness wrote for the Lama Zopa?
Yeah, it's on
Yes. Easy.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Wow.
Peerless
Teacher, assembly of the children of the victorious ones, Travelers and practical Buddhas, victorious Losang, Father and Son, along with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of infinite lands, please bestow the virtue of goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now. Holding and spreading the Buddha's precious and complete teachings through explanation and practice, you wore the armor of patience that is never discouraged. Incomparable venerable Guru, to you I make requests. While striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and for one of the living beings you suddenly departed to peace, what a great loss. Nevertheless, through the unceasing truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels, and the great waves of bodhicitta of the children of the victorious ones, may the smile of reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for fortunate disciples.
Good. Count it away. He's on this long lap.
We did
we
not,
don't.
we did 57 dedications.
57 present dedications. Through this virtue may I swiftly have Buddha's day, place each and every sentient being without exception in that state. Precious supreme Bodhi mind, may it wear and more rise, and wherefore never decline, but increase forevermore. And we will end with mix them out, which is on page 75.
Thank you, everyone. And,
Thank you, Dr. Lau.
next Sunday, we're going to the Guru Puja, the extensive one, like 3 hours, for the special dedication for the merit for Lama Zopa Rinpoche's third week, right? It's not totally, but because we have to follow the weekends. Okay, we start 10 o'clock, finish 1 o'clock. No, it's not 1 o'clock, but it's longer. Okay. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Urgyen.
Urgyen.